I made hundreds of thousands of pounds selling on TikTok, and I was actually one of the very first sellers onto the platform when it first opened up over 2 years ago. Over that time, I figured out the 4 core branches of TikTok Shop and how to make sure that you actually utilize them to grow a profitable TikTok Shop store. And if you're not using at least 3 of the 4 branches, TikTok is never gonna work for you. You're basically just leaving your business half built. And whilst they do all work together in a cohesive ecosystem, there is one that will drive profitability to your store as a beginner, especially when you are just starting out. I'll get onto this later in the video as this is super important, especially if you're starting out on TikTok Shop or just a solopreneur. Now, of course, the 4 branches of the TikTok Shop platform is own page content, affiliates, shop ads, and live streams. So I'm going to break down each of these 4 sections one by one, and we're going to start off with own branded, own page content. Now, own branded content is definitely the first thing to focus on as a beginner. One thing you do want to figure out is whether you want to go down a brand-led route or a founder-led personal brand. Now, for me, a founder-led personal brand will take you to much higher places than just a branded account will be. Because especially at first, if you cannot afford to have the infrastructure for a proper content team to be making regular content on a business account, then you're definitely going to need to be doing this yourself. Of course, you do not need to show your face, and if you're planning on not showing your face or even doing much talking, whether you want to use like AI voiceovers or actually hire someone, say on Fiverr, to do the voiceovers for you, if you're going down this route, then you probably should stick to a brand page rather than a founder-led personal brand. Now, for me, the founder-led personal brand is really, really strong. The great thing about having a personal brand leading the charge for your brand is that people are more likely to convert and relate to a person rather than a brand. When you're on a branded page on TikTok, it very feels like you're being sold to, but if there's a person on the other end of it, then it feels much more personal and you do get a lot better conversion, hence why the best affiliates on TikTok do always show their face. Now, the great thing about your own page content is that there's no startup cost. As long as you have a phone that you can use to record your videos, and maybe you might need to invest in a mic, but that's literally it. You don't need to send out samples, you don't need to spend any money on ads, and almost most importantly, you don't need the effort of spending hours and hours on a TikTok live trying to sell to probably 1 or 2 people in the audience. Now, your own page content can be your absolute rocket fuel to get your TikTok shop off the ground. So the own page content is almost like your main trunk when you're starting out your TikTok shop, and the other 3 branches kind of come off it. Now, how this works is you got to think about when you're putting your products out there with your own branded content, not only are you looking for buyers, but you're also looking for affiliates. Now, affiliates are going to see what's coming and what's hot, what's new on TikTok Shop. And by putting your product out there, not only are you finding buyers, but you're also going to be bringing yourself out and exposing yourself to potential affiliates that might promote your product for you in the future. Another massive advantage of starting with your own page content first is it also then builds out an ads library for you to use with TikTok ads, especially with GMV Max, but we'll get onto that more later on in the video. And another thing that this also does is it really helps your brand presence. So whether you just sell on TikTok Shop or you're selling your brand across multiple platforms, say like Amazon, having these own branded content out there, even if it drives no conversions on TikTok, maybe a couple of people might see your page and then they might be looking for your product anywhere on Amazon and be like, oh, I've seen these guys on TikTok, and more likely to convert there. So that is another reason why branded content is so important, and especially as your first step as a newbie coming into TikTok Shop without a massive backing of either money or a team behind you. Now, of course, when you are starting to scale your brand, then you do want to think about hiring a content creator to make content for your brand. It doesn't have to be in-house. With how many TikTok Shop affiliates there are out there, there are loads of people who do small sort of contracts for a few videos a week, where an affiliate will create videos still for their own page, and then maybe you might pay them, say, £500 a month to make 3 videos a week, say, that you can post up on your own TikTok branded page. Now, as I alluded to earlier in the video, is that the founder-led brands on top of this can really work well. So if you're really planning to scale your TikTok Shop brand, then I believe the best strategy is to have branded content under your brand name on one account and have that led by someone else, or you can at least record the videos but just have someone else be the voice and be the face of that brand even in the future, and then have a founder-led personal brand that really drive conversions and drive sales from the relatability that the audience will get from you as a founder being on their business journey, because people love a newbie starting out, but what people don't love, as I'm sure you probably know, is big business. So that is why founder-led personal brands can be so powerful. So obviously own branded content is definitely the first branch to start with on TikTok Shop. And for me, this is probably the stage where you go from 0 orders a month up to maybe your first 1,000 or a couple of £1,000 in sales every month. And then beyond that, to really make sure you're going to be able to scale your brand properly, you need to start branching out. And now branch 2 has got to be affiliates. Affiliates can literally take your TikTok shop from 0 to 1,000 orders a day in absolutely no time. Now you've got to remember that these affiliates, a lot of them will do this full time for their job. A lot of them will make thousands, if not tens of thousands of pounds each month being an affiliate across probably a wide range of TikTok shops, and they probably know a lot more than you do about how to create viral content or how to make content that actually sells on TikTok. As an e-commerce entrepreneur, you're probably not having the strongest suit in video creation and selling, or selling on video, whereas these affiliates do it day in, day out, and if they're worth their weight, then they will absolutely be learning every day how to make better videos that drive higher conversions and therefore actually make them more money. Now, one of the biggest things for me when I started to see more success from my affiliates was actually shifting my mindset from treating them like a person to almost like a business, because at the end of the day, a lot of these guys are here on TikTok to make money, and like I alluded to earlier, this is actually their full-time job. So you've got to be asking yourself, is this worth your time? If you're trying to reach out to an affiliate with pretty much the same product as what they're already promoting at the same commission, and you're just offering a free sample, why on earth would they go with you when they've got the tried and tested version that they're probably already making consistent revenue with? So to attract better affiliates and more affiliates, you need to start thinking outside the box and how you can really make it worth their time. The easiest thing you can do realistically to start out is going to be to offer higher commission rates. That's the least amount of work for you and one of the most rewarding things for a creator. But then you've got to remember that is going to hit your margins each percentage that you go up in your commission offering. Of course, you can use this as a targeted plan, and maybe just for the first month, they get an extra 5 or 10% commission to really try and get as many affiliates on board for your brand as possible. Another great thing that works really well with affiliates is have guidelines of when they hit a certain amount of sales, then they get a certain reward maybe at the end of the month. I've done this countless times and it works really well. You can offer cash prizes, you can offer physical prizes. For me, I've actually found that cash prizes work better across the board. No one really seems to be interested in the prizes and everyone just wants more money at the end of the day. So having these set out for affiliates can be really powerful. So usually what I would say is something along the lines of your top 3 affiliates will get whatever cash reward you're willing to give at the end of a month, but you have to have a minimum of X amount of sales, maybe that's 100 sales, 500 sales, or 1,000 sales in a month to be qualified for that top prize. The other thing you can do is not limit it to free. You can just say, if you hit 100 sales this month, then I'll maybe give you £100 as an extra commission. So overall with affiliates, the most important thing is the offer. You spend all of this time as an entrepreneur crafting to make the best offer for your customers, whether that be the best product or making your product at the best price or have all these extra features, and then you go to affiliates and you just expect them to promote it for you for nothing, and it's just not gonna work. You need to be thinking about your affiliate offer just as much as your product offer, and it needs to be so important to your affiliates to be making sure they've got something that's worth their while. Now, once you start getting affiliates on board, that's when you then need to start building up a content system. Now, for me, I would just use a Google Drive, just keep it nice and simple, have a separate Google account and share the drive with all of your affiliates. Now, to start off with, you will probably have no good performing videos for your product. So what you can do, go and take other videos for very similar products and upload them to a Google Drive where you know they've done well. Obviously, to find out if a video has done well and sold well, usually you can just go off the views, because if a video that is a shoppable video has hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views, then that will be either because the TikTok algorithm has pushed it because they've got lots of sales, or the brand behind it has pushed it with ads, again, because they're making lots of sales. So if you see a video with lots of views, literally just download it. Doesn't matter about watermarks, because all you're doing is uploading it to a Google Drive for inspiration for other creators. Another thing you can do is then get the script of these videos, use some AI tools to then re-script them and give script ideas ideas in a written format to your affiliates as well. Now, having a massive bank of resources for your affiliates is not only going to help improve their performance, but it's also going to show the affiliates that you are worth your weight and you are worth working with, because you are actively trying to help them make more money. Of course, that will also then mean making more money for yourself as well. So it is an absolute win-win by having these systems set up for your TikTok Shop business. Now, if you're only going to get one part of TikTok Shop right, then the best part to get right is affiliates. Because like I said at the start of this section, you can literally go from 0 to 1,000 orders a day with affiliates. I've literally had affiliates before drive me over 900 sales per day from one single video. It is absolutely crazy. You've then got to think that these guys are making thousands of pounds a day. And when that starts happening with your product, that's when you need to start doubling down with these affiliates, especially once that starts to wear off. They're making less money. They might start to look elsewhere for what other products to promote, but that's when you need to hit them again and try and get them to create more viral videos, and also take that viral video that they made and put it up into your vault on Google Drive for your winning videos that other creators then can create. Now let's move on to the next branch of TikTok Shop, which is going to be ads. Now, in the next couple of weeks, TikTok are completely scrapping the original Spark ad system, and we're just gonna have GMV Max. Now, I'm just gonna quickly touch on this at the start of this section, but GMV Max you need to be really careful with, because if you have an ROI of 4, for example, in GMV Max, that will be across your entire TikTok Shop. That is not just an ROI on your ads. That includes all of your organic content. So you may way overspend on ads, because you've then got to remember of all of the affiliate commission that you're giving out, and the organic content is not going to be included in this ROAS. So really make sure you know your profit margins inside and out, you know your affiliate commissions inside and out, and you know exactly what your return on ad spend is going to be. And if you're struggling with this, again, AI can help you. If you're still a little bit new to the whole business world and knowing ROAS really well and how much your profit you're making from each customer, then look for a TikTok Shop profit tracker, but also utilize AI, put all of your numbers in and let it help you create a ROAS that you should be aiming for. Obviously, the higher the ROAS that you set on your GMV Max campaign, the chances are the lower the sales it's going to drive, because the TikTok algorithm needs to find customers for cheaper. Obviously, if you had a ROAS of 1, then TikTok could spend quite a lot of money to find a customer. If you had a ROAS of 10, then they've got to spend a lot less money to get that same customer. So GMV Max does actually make your life so much easier as a TikTok Shop owner, because as long as all your affiliates have signed up for it, it can literally take your entire ads library for your product across the whole of TikTok Shop from your own pages and also all of your affiliate pages, and basically puts them in one big library, and then will promote the best ones to the customers. And also another insane feature of GMV Max, if your ROAS is not hit in your campaign, then TikTok will credit you the difference, so you're never out of pocket on your ROAS, which is again why it's so important to get that right. They're constantly offering offers on GMV Max, which is why for me at the minute, whilst we keep having it turn off, I keep turning off my GMV Max. I'll then message TikTok and I'll get an offer again. So at the minute I'm getting 40% off my GMV Max ads campaign, which is just absolutely crazy. So the last thing you need to take into consideration for your ads is your ad commission for your affiliate. Now, affiliates shouldn't expect this to be the same as their organic affiliate commission, because that's just never going to work as a business owner. If you offer 15 to 20% commission, you cannot really be offering that with ads as well. Somewhere between 1 and 5% is usually quite a sweet spot for your affiliate commission on ads. Sometimes I've had creators messaging me asking why that their affiliate commission isn't high enough, and you just simply need to explain that you've paid for traffic to their page, which has cost them nothing. They haven't had to make any extra videos, yet they are still getting paid. You can set your commission as low as you like, but I would recommend having it higher than sort of 2%, maybe closer to the 5% if you can afford it within your margins, because then your creators are going to be much happier with you. You will get creators not wanting to create videos for you if every time you're promoting their videos, they're getting basically not paid for it. So with GMV Max, the overall TikTok ad strategy has completely changed, and it is a lot simpler for us TikTok Shop sellers, which is great. So we have more of our time to focus on growing other areas of our business, but it's still super important to make sure you get those basics right. So obviously the final branch of TikTok Shop is live streams, and live streams are super important. and they are growing rapidly, and TikTok are really pushing these. I would say it's the last thing to be focusing on with your TikTok shop, but that does not mean that you should not be focusing on them at all. You definitely should be trying to do lives where you can. Now, you'll probably find if you start doing lives that you won't get traffic at first, or maybe you'll get traffic in the first few minutes. It will completely drop off, and then you'll spend the rest of your live with 1 to 5 people in your audience, and it can be a bit demoralizing selling to one person or 0 people, but you've got to keep going. This is not something I would necessarily say as a founder that you should be doing, because you probably have other jobs to do. This is slightly more of an advanced strategy. You need to potentially look at making deals with your affiliates, or you can even get agencies to do this for you, but the agencies can charge up to like £250 an hour. So it can get super expensive, especially at first when you're potentially not making any sales. Realistically, when you're starting your live streaming journey on TikTok, you want to be going live for at least an hour to 90 minutes every day for about 2 weeks. And this is gonna start getting you picked up in the TikTok algorithm a little bit more and start pushing your lives out to more people, which is then obviously where you can start making more sales. TikTok is really heavily pushing live streams. If you look at your TikTok Seller Growth Center, there is so many missions on there surrounding live streams. And I believe the reason for this is that there's not enough shop owners out there that are committed enough to make sure they're getting their live streams in. So it's one of those slightly more golden opportunities within TikTok where they're trying to push it so much, but not enough people are taking advantage of it. So you can really get in almost early at this point still and take advantage of it, because as I'm sure you've seen, live social shopping is absolutely the thing of the future, and it's going absolutely crazy in China and Asia at the minute, and it's only going to start working its way more and more this way as we progress through the next 5 years or so. So my overall strategy for a new seller on TikTok shop is start with your own page content. This is going to be the cheapest way for you to do it, and I would literally say you need to record 50 to 100 videos of your product. Try different scripts, try different angles. If you've got products that can make any kind of satisfying video, they usually do really, really well. One of the best ones I've ever seen is those pet hair scrapers. You don't need anything special. It can be a super short video. You're just demonstrating the product and it looks really satisfying. Those are some of the best videos you can do. When you're doing these videos, make sure you do a nice variety. I would almost come up with 10 different themes and then create 5 to 10 different videos for each theme you can think of, whether that's satisfying, whether that's maybe in your face, just talking about explaining what your product is. Another one could just be explaining about your brand and talking about who you are as a person. And other ones could even be slightly funnier, maybe a little bit gimmicky videos, just to try out what works. Because at the end of the day, the more you test, the more answers you'll get. And then you can also then build up that ads library for your affiliates in the future and your library for your GMV Max campaign. Then you need to be moving on to affiliates. So this is low effort and high scalability, especially once you have your Ads Vault set up on your Google Drive to share with your affiliates. This is massive scale opportunities for your brand. And then once you've got a decent amount of videos running, you need to get onto ads. Even if you're starting off with a low budget, TikTok want you to have all 4 of these branches going at once. So you need to make sure you're getting them all going as quickly as possible, but making sure you're doing it in the right order as well, and not wasting all of your money on ads on day one on poor performing videos. Finally, experiment with live streams where you can. Maybe do some deals with some affiliates who are performing well. Just make sure you check in with these guys on their live streams, that they're not taking your money to live stream for you and then promoting other companies' products. Now, as a bonus tip, TikTok loves you doing all of their branches together. The more you do all 4 of these together, the more that TikTok will give you more exposure on the platform. So the quicker you can get all 4 going, the faster your shop will grow. And if you want another video on how to grow your business on TikTok shop and actually have TikTok pay for you to do it, then make sure you click this video at the end.